What is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Every single preseason, Riot makes some massive changes to the game, and it's always really exciting and interesting. Even if you love or hate the changes, it definitely keeps the game fresh and interesting going into each new season. For Season 11, Riot has announced today that their big project going into the next preseason is going to be a huge item upgrade, rework, massive changes across the board, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video today. Before we get into this one, I just want to mention real quick, if you guys are not already subscribed, definitely click that subscribe button really quick. Helps you guys stay up to date on all my latest content and helps me out a ton as well, so it works out for both of us. Also, if you're interested in Robinhood, I have a link for that in the description below where you can get a free stock just by signing up. You don't even have to put any money on, so definitely check that out. With that being said, let's go getting into today's video, which is again the preseason 2021 gameplay plans. This came out 13 minutes ago. This is fresh, new, huge news. Up here we can see kind of they're talking about making a bunch of new item icons. You can see kind of some of the unchanged ones, some of the little bit different ones. None of this is official, none of this means anything. They just said they kind of uploaded this artwork for something for this article, but just some kind of interesting ideas. Maybe a new Triforce, new boots, making some stuff look different, maybe adding some new items to the game, updating some stuff, making it look cleaner, nicer, newer, and like a 2021 kind of art style in game. So this year they're going to be investing in League's future by building up and refining one of League's foundational gameplay systems, which items are one of the biggest, most important parts of League, and it's a huge part of every single game. Every single player in every single game has to interact with the item system a ton, so it's definitely would be a good idea to get this system polished up and nice. And I do think the item system has been a little stale for a while. Kind of builds haven't been as exciting. There hasn't been as much room to like be as creative and stuff with your builds, and most builds are pretty cookie cutter. So I think there are some really big exciting changes that they could make to the game to make it way more interesting and way more like strategic in your builds and stuff, but it is difficult to pull off. So as far as overall items, they're estimating something like a third of the items will be retained, probably completely unchanged, maybe some updated artwork or something. 33% of the items will be improved, and then 33% of their items going into next season will be brand new items or brand new abilities or something, and that is really exciting, because yeah, there are some good items in the game. Obviously there are items that are unique, different, fill a purpose, are really interesting and set themselves apart, but then there are a lot of items that are pretty similar, a lot of items that are just overpowered or just terrible, you'd never use, you always want to use. And I think builds need to be more fluid, more diverse, more interesting. And yeah, so by improving some items, adding some new ones, and leaving some of your old just favorites, obviously there's some classic items that are probably never going to leave League of Legends. And so in this blog they're going to lay out some of their goals and philosophies around the items in League of Legends. So first, they're talking about the ideal item system. These are kind of their goals that ultimately by the end of preseason 11 they want to have. These are what they think the item system should be. They think items should provide power for early game consequences and high moments. The core reason for the item system's existence is so players become more powerful over the course of a game at different paces, with early successes generating gold that pushes your item build ahead of your opponents. Every outplay or misplay creates consequences for your power later in the game. So they think right now they're doing a very good job of that, and I would agree with that. Right now the game is pretty snowbally. If you do well, you get items. Items are meaningful. Items are one of the best ways to get ahead of people. And yeah, scaling champions, when they get items, they are strong and able to carry. Early game champions, if they get early kills, they're able to get items, carry the games. I think they definitely do they say a very good job of that. I would agree with that. They feel good about the current state of snowball and power curves, and yeah, I think that's good. This preseason shouldn't dramatically change this. That's fine. Items are satisfying to earn and use. They think they're doing a good job of this. Each game has a miniature RPG loop where your champion powers up from weak to godlike strength. The item system is key to making the ascent and power feel earned and satisfying. I think that's true. I think they definitely do a good job of that for the most part. Reactive item choices add game-to-game variance and reward strategy. They say they're doing okay here. That's where I would start to disagree. I would say they're doing probably a poor job of that right now. There is a little bit of game-to-game variance, but if you look at most builds, most games, like, I don't know, especially in solo queue and stuff, you see a lot of the same builds. I know a lot of people don't really pay attention. A lot of people don't care about stuff like this. They just get a cookie cutter build off a guide or something and continue to build that. But yeah, I don't know if they do as good of a job as this, but they do say okay, so they know they're not doing amazing in this category. I would agree with that. Unlike runes, you can continually adjust your item build based on what's happening in the game. We want players to read and react to each game's unique happenings with smart item choices that lead to higher successes than if they build the same things in the same order every game. I feel like right now you can, for the most part, very generally, of course, with unique circumstances, for the most part, I feel like you can build the same stuff every game and probably be in a pretty good spot, especially in most elos below like very high elo. So for some champion classes like tanks, item system offers rich strategic depth of choices. On the other hand, we have a number of classes of champions with linear builds without room for adaptation. Mage items are particularly soft. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Items augment your champion's playstyle. Full item builds should integrate a slight gameplay twist or addition into a champion's play pattern that doesn't override that champion's kit. They feel like they're doing an okay job of this, and the item system is intuitive. With a deep and complex item system, the choices, stats, and ways you acquire items should be clear and intuitive. They think this is a clear area of improvement for us in many areas. Navigating the shop, the way stats stack and interact, and understanding trade-offs between items and unique stats are all areas that we could improve. A lot of prospective players who might love League and are scared away by the impenetrable item system in their first few games. We believe learning the item system over time is a key part of growing as a League player, but an unintuitive system can be a roadblock to believing it's possible to achieve that growth. So yeah, I would agree that it's not very intuitive. It is pretty complex. It is pretty hard to understand. I think even people that have played for a long time kind of fail to understand it in some ways. So I think that would be good. Again, their goals for the preseason item purchasing is quick and intuitive. I think being quick is a huge thing, especially for people at like higher levels. Every champion can make strategic decisions through item choices in every game. I think that would be awesome. If every game felt different, if every game you had to build different items depending on what was going on, if you had to make that like conscious decision in your mind, I think that would make the game, I think that would add another level of depth to the game that isn't there right now. Item builds enable exciting ways to master your champion. Items feel especially epically powerful and enhance your champion's fantasy. Iconic items are retained and you don't have to relearn everything from scratch. Yeah, I think there's always got to be some go-to items that are core to the League of Legends. So they want items to have a clear, unique, and single purpose. We want every item in the shop to have a clear purpose that sets it apart from the other choices. I think that's really good. I think right now there's some items that kind of do the same stuff, or one item is just a better version of another item. So I think they could definitely fix that. Items fit one of two archetypes, either contextual purpose or kit augment. Contextual purpose, situational items that allow players to counter certain champions, like QSS, I think also like Zanya's and stuff. Kit augments are items that are pickable in any game and have satisfying synergy with champions' kits. Lichbane, yeah, I think Lichbane is definitely a really, really good item. I think Sheen is a good item in the game as well. Interesting build paths provide variety and small choice opportunities. Yeah, I think that's good. Tier 3 items have smaller choices peppered in throughout each component, or advanced item small optimizations to respond to lane matchup. Yeah, I think that is good. Item design is elegant, and we only use the mechanics that we need. Items contribute to an overall healthy game by not removing counterplay and weaknesses. I know a lot of people are calling for the removal of stopwatch, Zanya's, all this stuff. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. It's going to be interesting to see if they determine those to be healthy. Like, because they say healthy, I don't know what they're going to decide there. I think stopwatch could be removed if assassins and early game stuff is knocked down a little bit. I don't think Zanya's ever will be or should be removed. It's going to be interesting to see, though. But there's going to be a ton of changes. We're going to lose items. We're probably going to lose items. We're definitely going to gain items. We're definitely going to gain new art, new abilities, all this stuff. So I think that'll be interesting. The big shop upgrade, last up, but definitely not least, is a shopping interface. There's a ton of room for improvement here. While nothing's been finalized yet, we do have early concepts. I think this concept looks really, really nice. It shows you who on the other team certain items would be good against. I think this looks really clean with the big suggested items, and you can still go to the all items and the item sets tab. I think this looks way cleaner than the current system. You also have this stuff on the side, which I think is so nice, because yeah, every once in a while I'll be on the recommended tab, but I won't be able to get pink wards like where I want them or whatever. I think this looks really, really clean. I really like this item shop, at least concept. Better recommendations they want focused choices. They don't want to remove the strategy, so they don't want to like do it for you. They don't want to tell you when you should build certain items. They can recommend stuff, but they don't want to like make it too easy to just be like, oh, this is the exact optimal build or something, because they do still want it to be a strategy game, obviously. And contextual analysis, helping less experienced players gain experience with reactive item decision making is a core goal. So we're adding some new systems to analyze the allies and enemies in each game, show you which items offer effective counters or synergies. I think that's good, but yeah, you definitely don't want to like baby them or just make it so easy that you're giving them the exact perfect build or something. But you do want to help them a little bit, obviously. All items is for the advanced player that already knows the shop inside and out. All items that you need on one screen. This is the one-stop shop for an expert player to go to. Consistent position. With the invested player in mind, we want to make this a place where the items are placed in logical layouts on the screen and move them rarely, if at all. That is kind of annoying. I know if you play like Callista or Silas, some stuff like that, sometimes items get moved around. I'm not sure if the Ornn upgrades move items around or not, but yeah, sometimes stuff it doesn't end up where you think it's going to be, and that could be really, really annoying or fuck up some games, honestly. data enhancement, we also want to integrate our new data capabilities into all the items interfaces to highlight viable items for your champ. Finding items and buying quickly will be easier than ever. So again, a ton of huge new changes coming to the item system in League of Legends in 2021. This is going to be preseason 11. We don't have a lot of concrete stuff here. Again, they didn't like announce any new items or any changes specifically or a new shop interface or anything, but they just gave us a ton of ideas. And I think a lot of this stuff looks clean. I think this page looks really nice. I think this page I'm really excited about. I think this looks really clean. And I like the goals that they've laid out. I think they have some, I think it's really great to obviously have goals, but I agree with a lot of goals they have. And if they can make a lot of these changes and make items more interesting and better, that's going to be so good for the game. Because again, items are so important. They're one of the core principles of League of Legends. It affects every single player in every single game. And if you can make that system better, it's going to make the game better overall for so many people. Old players, new players, high level, low level, everything in between, and everyone would really appreciate that. And I think it's really exciting. People have been calling for kind of item overhauls and changes and stuff for a long time. So if they can do this well, this could be a really, really awesome change. But if they do it bad, it's obviously going to make the game way, way worse. But yeah, obviously this is June. This is like 6 months away. So they're going to have a ton of time, effort, resources, everything put into this. They're going to try a bunch of stuff out. So I do have faith that this hopefully should be a good upgrade. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about these item changes? What do you think about items in general? And what would you like to see in Preseason 11 or coming to League of Legends in 2021? Subscribe so that all my latest content. Again, check out Robinhood. Link in the description below. It's going to be the first link in the description. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.